Book lovers, welcome back to another exciting episode of KSB's Book Review. Today I'm not going to be reviewing a book. Today I'm not going to be reviewing a book, but there was this argument in my class that I was talking about. People were saying that books are really irrelevant in our lives and we can do a lot without having to read books or anything. And that's why I decided to do this video talking about the impact of books in the society, the impact of books in our lives, and how it can make us become better people in the society, and how it can inspire us to change the world. But I'm not going to be doing it alone. I'm having a special guest on on today's episode. A familiar face. My mom is the special guest. Come on, mom, as the special guest in today's episode.
Hi everyone, hi KSB.
Hi, mom.
Super fun, super good to be here today. Hello everyone.
So today we are going to be talking about profound impacts on of reading in our lives. First of all, we have knowledge and understanding. Books broaden our perspectives, challenge our assumptions, and deepen our understanding of the world. When you read books, you get to learn a lot about different things. You get to learn a lot of things that have happened in the world, like World War. You can read books about World War One, World War Two. You can even read books about 9/11. I've read a book. I reviewed one about a woman who, a perspective of 9/11, how she felt being in that scenario. It also puts you in that scenario, puts you in that situation from reading the book. So reading books broadens our knowledge and understanding.
Very, very true, very true. So spot on KSB. Yes, it kills your assumptions. Reading helps us to take away. So we have so many assumptions, and when we read, especially when we read biographies, read historical books and facts, we get to do away with so many assumptions that we've already had or we had about people or a particular thing or a particular history. Reading, helps us to grow. Impacts our personal growth. Is a catalyst for your personal growth. Take for instance, if you don't know much about finance and you're reading a book about finance, it inspires you. It teaches you how to manage your finance, investment, things to do, how to save, keep a little money aside, how to just do those basic things that sometimes we don't really know. We don't have any idea, any clue on how to do. So reading, improves you, makes you grow personally. Once you read a book like that, you never remain the same. Take for instance, or you read a book about food or a recipe book on a particular recipe, and you get an insight or great information about it. Of course, you go ahead to do cook the meal better. So that has enhanced your personal growth. And not only about that, also have people who have read books, self-improved books like how to meditate, how to exercise or walk or things like that, how to care for yourself, love yourself, well-being, generally have great well-being. And I think once you read a book like that, you're never the same person again, because once you start to love yourself greatly, start to love yourself, take good care of yourself, you become a better person, and then you impact the next person better. So books definitely help you to grow. They improve yourself, help you to grow. Yeah.
Yes. That's very, very true as well. We also have empathy and compassion. Books can increase empathy and compassion by allowing us to see the world from different viewpoints and understand people's struggles. For example, there's this series, the Chicken Soup.
Absolutely.
There's a part of the book where there was a young boy who, I think his family had like issues or something, but like this girl, her and her mom were living together alone, and then this boy, she offered him a glass of milk and cookies, and then some years later,
Oh yeah.
their family was going through struggles, and then they were looking for money to pay the bill. They needed a surgery, a life, like it's the surgery. Yes, yeah, exactly. So like they needed somebody to pay the bills, and then they got an envelope from, very, very, very beautiful story. Got an envelope, that a letter that said the bill had been paid in full by the glass of milk. So when we read books like that, we get to feel empathy for certain people. Just because we have it all sunshine and rainbow doesn't mean another person has it all sunshine and rainbow, and we can get to understand what it feels like to be in that position.
Very, very true. And also, reading helps you to relax. Helps you to relax and helps you. And that for sometimes when you're trying to, sometimes when you just need to shut down, very good book. a good book, great story, great write with a writer that is so captivating, can just take you out of your present craziness or madness and gives you peace and calm and quiet. Like loads and loads of books to give you such, like for me, the Bible does that for me. The book of Psalm does that for me. When I find myself, not really finding myself, go to the book of Psalms. There's so many, the Psalms about a lot of things. The Psalm when you're happy, a Psalm when you're in that warring state of mind. There's a Psalm when you want to pray and you need the words and the tools to pray, why you should pray, why you should wrestle. There's Psalms to help you to pray. There's Psalms to tell you, to connect you, send you back to God, make you know that God is with you. So books do that a lot. They give you a sense of, help you to relax, just shut down everything and just get lost in a beautiful book and just relax. They do that all the time. So reading a great books does help you to relax.
Yes. Reading helps us to relax. Another thing is reading helps in our inspiration and our motivation. Books can motivate us to pursue our passions, overcome obstacles, and
Very
strive
true.
for excellence.
Yes,
I have a friend that says he wants to become a professional footballer one day, and like you think, oh, there are a lot of odds living in Nigeria, being in an African country. But you can read biographies of professional footballers that we admire today that have had so many obstacles, so many challenging stories, like Ronaldo, how he was sweeping the streets at 17, but now he's one of the greatest football players in the world right now. From sweeping the streets to stealing the hearts of people in the streets, just reading stories like that, they inspire you to want to keep pushing, to want to keep working harder every day.
very true, very true. Reading can also inspire your creativity. Reading books about hearts of great artists can inspire your creativity, inspire you to, in your own little corner, create something, do something, create, not just become an artist, also be creative in the ways that which you become a brother, a mother, a friend, a sister. Inspire you, as a great staff, worker, employer, employee. Inspire you to be a great neighbor. So you could read books to inspire you to just be the best person, the best version of yourself that you have presently. So books does that. Of course, one of the books of, like I said before, one of the books that inspires us to be better versions of ourselves. Of course, we have loads and loads of books. We have books by Pastor Sam Adeyemi, books by Nick Adeyemi. We also have the Bible. Of course, the Bible is one of the greatest books ever written. It's a bestseller, one of the best-selling books ever. Yeah, yes. So you could read books like that to inspire you to change, to be a better person, to love yourself, love God, and love man better. And read books by, like I mentioned, Sam Adeyemi and Nick Adeyemi, of course, and loads of many other people books that you could read. The book we recently had, the Role Model Teenager, book by Miss Folake Oluwole, beautiful book to read, to be a role model, a teenager that stands out among other teenagers. So great books to read to inspire your creativity, inspire you to be better at yourself and the things that you do.
Yes, that's very correct. It also helps us to. It also helps in books. Also help in shaping our worldview. Books can influence our beliefs, our values, and our attitudes, helping us develop a more nuanced understanding of the world. When you read books, you get a better understanding of the world. You get to, like for example, you can read a book about Paris, even though you've never been to Paris. You could read a book about Paris, about the customs and traditions of other countries, about their food. Food is a very exciting topic.
Oh,
Make
yes,
having
it
to
is.
salivate while looking at the pictures and all that. You can read a book about a lot of things, about computers, about and so many things. You can read books about that can shape your mind, that could even point you towards the direction where you want to go. Like that could, books could even help you point you to your purpose, to the direction of, oh, I want to do this because I saw this. I also want to be like this. I also have the potential to be this as well. So books also help in shaping our world.
Very, very true. Books also, they inspire you and motivate you. They motivate you. They also help you to find your purpose. Or sometimes we really don't know. Well, to streamline your talent, streamline your purpose. Books can help you do that. You find out what you love to do, and how you could channel that into a passion, how you could channel that into something that is profit making. There are books and loads of books like Miles Monroe has great books on purpose, fulfilling purpose, and all of that. So there are great books that can help you to inspire you to want to do better, to know yourself better, and to give better to the society, to the society. So reading a good book will inspire you to fulfill purpose, will know your purpose, find your purpose out, live a purposeful life. With great books like that, very true.
So, last but not the least, we have providing solace and comfort. Reading can offer comfort, solace, and also support during difficult
Oh
times,
yes,
helping
very
us
true.
feel less alone. When we read books, we get to see how, like the Bible, for example, we get to see, oh, we are feeling a certain way, and like there's this struggle, we are going through certain struggles, trials and tribulations, like they usually call it.
Yes.
And when you read the Bible, your faith becomes stronger. I'm using the Bible as an example because, like, that's one of the most complete books in the world. That's the book you can make reference to whenever you're feeling a certain kind of way. So it helps you feel comfort, helps you feel peace, helps you feel less alone. Okay, I know that God is by my side. That's one of the ways that books have impacted our lives.
Oh yes, and there are books that have books that were written by people who have gone through what you're going through. It's so easy to read now because with the click of any button on your phone, you could just type looking for a book on this, and you get loads of books. So you have real life scenarios, books written by people who have experienced what you're experiencing, and that will also give you an insight on how to get better or get out of that situation. There are books on depression, books on loss, there are books on well-being, books on childbirth. There are books on loads and loads, parenting, all over the place. So you can even have a book. There are books on meditation, how to meditate, how to have a better meditation, how to have prayer time, mother and son. So there are loads and loads of books about almost anything now. So just go to Google, make it easy now. AI, ask for books. So most times AI will be guarded because it will not have certain rights to reveal certain things about certain books. But then again, there are loads and loads. Of course, it'll give you titles of books that help you with what you're going through. So very, very true. I'd like to ask you, Kesby, have you ever read a book that that changed your perspective on something? Have you ever read a book like that you said, "Oh, this book changed my mind," or or gave me insight? Have you ever read a book like that?
Oh yes, there are lots of books I've read like that. It's most especially biographies, like football biographies. Let me give you that like popular example most in like and very interesting topic to talk about. When you think, oh, to become a professional footballer, I just need to be talented, work hard. Once you're good on the ball, you'll be able to go through divisions. But sometimes most footballers, their stories aren't usually like that. The amount of struggle that they went through. For example, Neymar lived in a one room with his family, and he didn't even have money to afford football boots to be able to go for training. If you don't read books, if you don't really go into dig deep to research to find out most of these things, you'll never be able to find out. Excuse me. And most times, if you check it online, you really see the most accurate information. But when you read the biographies that have been typed into literature, you'll be able to find out the backstory, what's the person, the trauma that the person had to go through to become such a great influence in the world today.
Yeah, very true. Like when I read A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, that book was so beautiful. I think we've seen lots and lots of movies about it, but it's not as accurate as reading the book. So yeah, so for me, reading that book was a great opener, eye opener. I had even a greater respect for Nelson Mandela, for South Africans as a country, because of the significance and the impact that I got from reading that book. I've seen loads of movies about it, but beautiful movies too, greatly done. But then reading the book was such a different, was different. It was an eye opener for me. So yes, that's how powerful books are, and we have e-copies of books. You can download a book and just sit down and listen, allow the book to read. So for people saying it's not a complete waste of time to actually read. Reading has been made so easy now, and you can have a reading group. have a reading group, people which you review your books together back and the books you have read, talk about it. Have a readers club or reading club where you review books that you read and you just talk about the characters and the things that stand out for you. And yet, the beautiful thing about it is when you get to hear different people's perspective. A book can tell different stories. It can mean different things to different people. When you have a book like a book club, you'll be shocked that A says one thing and B is saying another thing, C is saying another thing, and all of this they got in that book. So that's the beautiful thing about reading. Yeah.
So overall, books have the power to transform our lives,
Very
broaden
true.
our perspectives, and enrich our experiences.
Very
We
true.
should learn to read books,
Yes,
because
we
when
should.
we read books, we get to learn different things, learn about different people, learn about things that we've never even heard of before. We get to increase our vocabularies by learning new words.
One word that you've learned that stands out for you right now without looking at anything.
Probably penury, because
Oh.
no, it's not penury, it's pauperized. Because like when I heard the way they used the word in that book, like the way he was so pauperized to the point that he could not afford to live like the way they used it in the book, they were trying to describe someone whose house was made out of straw and someone who couldn't even afford to put doors on his home, and they used the word pauperized, and it was just so aggravating, the way they used that word in that particular scene, and it was just that's one of the words that always stays with me. So
Wow.
yes, when we read books, we get to learn words like that. Reading is actually very interesting. Once
Very
you pick up a
true.
good book, you think, oh, I'm just going to read 2 chapters, but you don't know when
Very
you
true.
keep on reading
Get
and
lost.
Exactly, get
Yes.
lost in the pages of
Yes.
the book.
Yes.
So yes, I hope my mom and I have been able to convince you
Yes,
that
I'm sure we have.
reading has a huge impact in our lives, and how reading can also help us to impact the society and the world at large. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on the video,
Yes.
subscribe to the channel, share the link
Please
to your
do.
friends, watch out for my next
Please
review,
share.
and always remember that readers are leaders who are way ahead of others. I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for having me, KSB.
Thanks for being on the episode today, Mom.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.